weiß nicht. Ah, das Biest wurde komplett überarbeitet, glaube ich. Ja, ich glaube, diese komische Göttin auch. Mal gucken. Genau, wir direkt durch, aber.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie. We're not going to go through with this, right? Ignore him.
Hübsch ist jetzt irgendwie so ungewohnt. Also die Schrift meine ich. Und das Deutsch ist
The
ungewohnt.
cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale. The blade is. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult. The door to the base. Her voice.
Who's there?
She said, "Don't let it fool."
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far. She's so coldly beautiful. Focus on the task.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Hm.
Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you?
She makes. Don't you dare. It's fine. The blade tumbles out.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just...
Against you will be fine. Don't know what you're hoping to.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? I don't remember much about it, to be honest.
Just how long has she been?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall?
Musik ist so
Have they
schön.
told you why I'm allegedly
Mhm.
Sooner or later, you'll understand that.
How sweet. Now be a pal and help me get out of here, would you? We could figure out how to deal with them after I'm free.
You walk up to the chains binding the
nice.
princess to the wall and give them a tug.
Mhm.
They're
Oh,
large
that's
and
nice.
heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key.
Maybe it's somewhere doubtful.
Well, you do have that big, sharp knife.
She speaks. If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant. You attempt someone else. You try the door. You're here.
Mhm.
You make your way back to the easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. The knife. Pick it.
You won't. Against your better,
Save
you
the
cut
princess.
into her. The blade is sharp.
Mhm.
You make quick. She didn't so much as utter it. Free from. How is she so
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The state as the princess. Wait, watch me.
Ah. Wahnsinn.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward. Stop it.
Oh, jede.
The blade. Move.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you. This is the end. I'm afraid it is. Everything goes
Afraid
down.
it is.
Also, na,
You're on a path.
okay, jetzt die Frage,
to slay her.
wie kriegen wir Kapitel 3 mit dir?
If you don't,
Ja,
Ich denke, ich muss sie töten.
ja, wahrscheinlich.
Ich denke, ich darf sie nicht befreien, auf jeden Fall.
Ja. Hast du sie sonst befreit?
Hm?
Hast du sie sonst befreit?
before you go any
Ich habe sie so befreit ursprünglich.
Yes, yes, don't believe a word she says. Did you just say? No, I didn't. Just ignore. The only the
Lustiger Sache ist, der Skeptik zwingt mich, das Messer mitzunehmen.
Er verzwingt dich, das Messer mitzunehmen.
Ja, guck mal, jetzt in den Keller reingehen.
afraid I'm going to insist we take the blade.
Hm.
We're in a dangerous situation. Are you sure? What? Yes. Turns it against you. Okay. Normally, yeah, but not about this. Call it a wonderful.
Guck,
You do it. Don't worry. No, you don't have to do anything.
guck,
Well,
du musst es nehmen.
regardless. The door to the basement. Her voice.
Is that a visitor I hear?
A wonder what visitors she could be referring to. Were we not? You walk down the stairs
Oh,
and
sie hat mehr
lock eyes
Ketten.
with the princess.
Ah,
Looks
ist
up
die
at
Ah, du
cool.
kennst sie gar nicht,
Follow
stimmt.
her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall from the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be
So eine
worried about the one
Kettenkrone.
around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on
Keinen
the
Sinn,
wall?
da kommst du auch mit dem
Odd that in a place
Schwert,
where
mit dem Messer da
things
nicht
serve a
durch
distinct purpose,
den Hals durch.
there will be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Oh.
Was ist so drin? Oh, 3.
Lassen wir sie oder lassen wir sie zu ihr?
Oh. Also setz dich zu ihr, ist nicht der Weg.
Nee, das wollen wir nicht.
Ja.
Das ist das Gute.
Was ist zurück?
As if by divine will, just
Okay.
as you finish the thought, you hear a door slam. I'm afraid you won't be leaving until the task is finished. That's not fair. Unless you deal with her right here, right now, So it's not even safe to think. I see how it is.
How surprising. They locked you down here too.
Without a moment of hesitation, you charge the princess, your blade primed to deliver a lethal strike.
I am not a damsel to be helplessly murdered.
As you move to strike the princess, she stands, her chains clinking as she wraps them around her fists. In an instant, they're around your neck, both of you dropping to the ground as she pulls them taut, bracing her body against yours as you struggle uselessly.
Drop it, or you die.
I thought this was going to be a safe move, but she's going to kill us. Just listen to her, do what she says. How many times did I warn you she's not to be trusted? But while strangulation can be very distracting, she's not armed, and you have your pristine blade. End her before she ends you.
Was passiert, wenn du mit ihr redest?
Warte mal. Wir müssen speichern.
Ja. Oh, ja.
You steel your will and refuse to give in to the princess's demands, ignoring the stars dancing in your eyes and the screaming of your starved lungs. You strike. You fumble your first few attempts, only making surface-level scratches and gouges as your arm flails forward, barely able to obey you. But a single focused blow was all it took. Your blade pierces up through her ribs, slicing through flesh, striking her heart.
So ein cooles Game.
The chains loosen. The darkness creeping in at the edges of your vision subsides.
None of this was ever very fair, was it? But I did kill you last time. I should have expected you might want some petty revenge. Unfortunately for you, that means you've dug your own grave. You can forget about me ever helping you again, even if it damns us both.
Ich sehe das mal.
And just like that, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward. I don't like this. It was too easy. It was not too easy. We almost died. That's right. This was an incredible... Let's just get out of here. I don't like looking at her body. Plus, he said there'd be a... You have the attention span of a fly. How are we supposed to unravel the mysteries of this place if you're so easily distracted by empty promises? It's better to have a short attention span in a situation like this. There's no use dwelling on the past, especially when it's already set in stone. And especially when your promised reward is not, in fact, empty and is worth all the adversity you've been through to get here. Fine, but if we're leaving, then we're taking the blade. I feel exposed without it. With your work done, you remove the blade from the princess's corpse and make your way back upstairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. You can think of it as sealing yourself off from an unpleasant chapter of your life. It's all uphill from here. The windows. Do you see that? We used to be able to see the outside world from up here, but now it's just empty. The door. Check the door. You open the cabin door ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away. You don't have to act surprised. We could see this vast emptiness through the windows. But if everything's gone, does that mean we're not gonna get our reward? This is your reward. An eternity of bliss, if you'll have it. And I suggest that you have it. Okay. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Like hell it is. What's done is done, and there's no going back now. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days, or months, or years, or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Decades? No, it can't be decades. We can't go along with this. We can't let him win.
Ist alles neu?
Have a blade.
Wie
Let's
bitte?
use it on ourselves
Alles
and
neu?
start over.
Ein bisschen neu.
Suggesting you kill yourself. You shouldn't kill yourself when you have an eternity of bliss right
Ich glaube, das ist das neue Kapitel.
Mhm.
You goddamn spiteful bastard. Are you really going to turn down immortality itself? Just why should it matter if we die at this point? I don't have to want. That's all we needed to hear. You raise the blade, then you collapse to the floor. Yeah, we'll see about that.
Ray.
Ray, okay, ist sie noch
Your
gleich?
path. See, that wasn't so bad. And now we've got another chance to get to. There are so many more threads to pull once you stop. Feel. That's built up, buddy. You feeling it? I'm feeling nothing. So you've been here before. Of course you've been here before. It's our third. Your open discussions. You came around on that awful fast. Have you just been pretending to forget every time? I'm afraid not. Whatever other versions of me you've met in those other lifetimes were just that. Other versions of me. I just wish I'd been the first. So you knew how all this worked. Why didn't you ever tell us? We could have used it to our advantage. That's because there is no using it to your advantage. The more information you have, the harder it will be for you to succeed. It's not like it was that difficult to slay her last time. She may have put up a fight, but her flesh is still softer than our blade. And now she's dead, and I doubt she'll be able to do much of anything from the grave. You already slew her? Yes. Then why, pray tell, are you... Oh, I know that one. We killed ourselves. Why? Because you thought trying to stuff us away in a corner for eternity was a suitable reward. Was it not? What better reward is there than eternal bliss? You should have been happy. We were bored. There were still answers that we needed to find. It was actually working. And you killed yourself. I can't believe it. You ruined everything. How does us dying ruin everything? What aren't you telling us? The world doesn't stay saved if you die. And if the world isn't saved, then that means she isn't dead. Yes, things are different, aren't they? If this isn't the same path in the woods you're used to, that means that her influence is already spreading and you're running out of time. Her influence? What's that supposed to mean? It means exactly what I said. Don't overthink it, or you run the risk of making your task so much more difficult than it has to be. And what is that supposed to mean? Forget I said anything. I've probably already made things worse, and I need to stop talking about this now before I definitely make things worse. Oh, come on, tell us your secrets. Haven't we been through enough? Don't we deserve to know? No. Is there a reason it would be raining? If there is, it doesn't matter. If a bit of rain is the best her influence can conjure, then we have nothing to worry about.
Liebe die Ying. Ich bin super gespannt, wie sie aussieht.
She'll find a way out eventually and the world will still end. The only way this resolves is if you find her and slay her before that happens. We already know he wants us to slay her. Anything he says is tainted by his motivations. Turn around and leave, go to the cabin. I'm fine with either. So long as we don't just do the same thing again.
I have Voice of the Cold.
Ah, lol. Stimmt.
Es gibt eine neue Prinzessin, eine komplett neue, aber vom Trailer.
You've already managed to slay her
Ich weiß nicht
once,
schon, ob
just
sie jetzt kommt oder ob ich was anderes machen muss. Weil es sah sehr nach Prisoner Route aus, die eine Prinzessin da, ich meine.
what we do is entirely up to us. And we have all those mysteries to unravel. Isn't that right? You aren't here to solve a mystery.
Okay, Cold und
You're
Skeptik
here
sind schon
to save the
losgekommen. Ne?
world. That's what you say. But how can we be
Ich
sure?
mag den Skeptik.
We can't be sure of anything except what's right in. Okay, but we should care about the fate of the world. Why? Because we should. I don't know. It's important, is it? Yes. I think. For all we know, the world you're talking about isn't even real. Of course it's real. Where do you think you are? Somewhere else? Maybe we are. This is horribly unproductive. The cabin and your extremely important destiny await. As soon as you enter the cabin, you're struck by an overwhelming scent of decay, of mold and death and stagnant
Da
water.
ist sie.
The once stately
Okay, ist noch nicht die richtige Route,
its
ha?
beams dripping with a black ooze of
Soll ich trotzdem machen?
putrefaction. All but
Ja,
the
klar,
exterior
finde ich auf
stone
jeden Fall.
walls warped beyond recognition.
Ich frage mich, ob das ich machen
Must
müsste.
have been beautiful once. But you're not alone. You can feel something watching you. Is that her? It's like she isn't even there. See? We killed her. You're right. Maybe she doesn't reset like us. She certainly doesn't look the same as she did last time. Before you can make a move, the figure is gone. The door at the end of the room, but there isn't a door. There's a mirror, that's it. The mirror? Is this not?
Ja, das Spiel davon kennen wir.
Strange. There's supposed to be a pristine. Maybe it's gone because we've already. But we had it with us when we died. Maybe it's because we've already explored that avenue. We've seen. I suppose it doesn't matter why the blade is gone, but you're. You make your way to the door at the end. It's so.
Spiegel kennen wir schon.
We can see. So much no way left.
Okay.
The door to the basement grows
Oh.
open.
Oh,
The air is foul and wet,
cool.
so thick that you can almost feel it
Ah.
settle onto your skin in layers of grime. The stairs are coated with slimy algae, the wood rotted through in places, reeking of fetid vegetation.
Hm.
A wispy figure watches you from the bottom of the stairs, face veiled in shadows, legs submerged up to her shins in dark waters. There she is again.
Ja.
Barely. She's
Liebe
just an
Wasser
old
und Regen.
memory. Your eyes lock for a brief moment, then she vanishes around the corner.
Und sie war ja ziemlich sture Prinzessin.
You receive no response. Do you think she's upset with us? I don't like being here unarmed after what happened last time. I feel so exposed. She doesn't seem fully there. I'm not sure she's even capable of being upset. You aren't helping. Are you scared of a little ghost? What's she going to do? Look at us until we feel bad? She can look all she wants. It won't do anything. As you descend the final step,
Ja.
the form of the princess comes into view. A bloated body floating face down in slowly rising waters. Her wrist still bound to the wall by a heavy chain. This cell is a dark and isolated place, with not so much as a window to allow starlight to penetrate the gloom. See? She's dead. She's not just dead. It looks like she's been rotting. So killing her does stick. Mostly. But if she's dead, then what are we supposed to do? She isn't dead. You clearly just believe she is. Her corpse is floating right in front of us. You can stop it with the mind game. If she's dead, then do we even have to do anything? How can she be a threat to the world like this? Your thoughts are cut short by the sound of a slamming door and a clicking lock. You turn to see the shade of the princess staring down at you from the top of the stairs. So that's where the blade is. It's already in her heart.
Aber ihr habt das
She
mitgenommen.
isn't dead. She is dead. Have you never heard of a ghost before? Oh, for the love of... Can we not waste time arguing over the semantics of what is and isn't dead? She is clearly conscious. She clearly just slammed the door on you, and she clearly has a weapon. Your pristine blade sticking out of her chest. This is extremely bad. Catastrophic, even. Yeah, dead or not, what are we supposed to do about her? Slaying or destroying, if we want to be a little more death neutral, seems off the table. Yeah, this is tricky. But let's talk to her. See what kind of information she has that we don't. But she hasn't said anything. Are you sure she can talk like this?
Bold of you to come back here after what you did.
But she doesn't answer your question. All she does is watch you in shadowed silence. Do you hear that trickling sound? The water's rising, isn't it? It is, and it's rising fast. Oh, that's interesting. We've never drowned before. I wonder how it'll feel. Bad, I bet. I don't think dying ever feels good. Yes, how astute. Dying is bad and you should avoid it. How about you stop trying to talk to her and do something instead? The princess eyes you with a disaffected gaze as you rush up the stairs, but you don't make it past the first few steps. The door bursts open, a powerful wave of water crashing down towards you. You're swept up in the flood. Your head slams. You come to a moment later, suspended in darkness, disorientated, only aware of the surface of the water and the emptiness above. And of course, the princess, hovering above you, watching in silence as you struggle to stay afloat in the icy depths. There's no way out. It's so dark and cold, I think our limbs are slowing down. How much longer can we do this? Just keep breathing, we'll figure this out. Or we won't. It doesn't matter either way. But you don't have time to figure anything out. Something cold and clammy wraps around your ankle. You're dragged under, only able to take one last hopeful gulp of air before your head is plunged into the freezing depths. As you sink below the surface, you see it. Or rather, you see her. The body you found floating when you first arrived, its hand is locked around your ankle, the heavy chains pulling you both down into the unfeeling, suffocating nothingness. I get it. We shouldn't have killed her. Just get it away from us, please. The past is the past. There's no changing it. There's nothing to fix. And there's not a lot we can do about the present either. Not unless we think, like we should have been doing all along. But there is no thinking as you drown. You desperately try to pull yourself back to the surface again, and again, and again. Your icy limbs flailing desperately against the grip of her rotting corpse. And all the while her ghastly figure stares down at you, expressionless, as unfeeling as the weight around your ankle.
Your lungs filled with water, the same as mine filled with blood. In the end, we're not so different.
Oder,
Das.
was war der Cray? Ah, die wollte ich nicht.
She's gone, and there's that.
Das kennen wir schon.
Ja.
If there's You're right, don't bother. There's something. You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear. Ignore the cowards. You have to look.
Das ist mal erzählt, aber der Gleichgültige, der Kalte, ist der Einzige, den der Spiegel nicht jucken tut.
Stimmt.
I'm begging you, don't do this. It's different now. It feels...
Oh lol, das sieht aus wie Ding. Aus der BD.
Something finds
Right.
me.
Sprechen wir mal kurz. Und gucken wir mal kurz.
As your weapon falls pathetically to the floor, the princess releases you from her stranglehold, shoving you away
no.
with a swift kick. Your hands test the bruised flesh of your neck as you regain your senses, watching with a dazed expression as the princess snatches up the blade.
I'm going to pretend for both our sakes that this was a round of make-believe. A trick to get me what I needed to get us out of here.
That wasn't a trick.
Jeez.
I'd have known if it were a trick. You just didn't have the guts to see things through and save the world. Or maybe we outwitted you. Who's to say?
But I wouldn't try anything else if I were you. Don't push your luck.
She pulls up her hair, smiling slightly,
Oh,
raises the blade
that's
to
nicht
her
gut.
throat.
You can stay right where you are for this.
What is she doing? She doesn't say another word. No. You
No,
close your
see
eyes.
him.
That doesn't stop. I'll be damned. She's actually doing your job for her. So that's her play. Killing herself? We don't know that she's dead yet. We're not even
Machst du
watching
der
it.
Augen zu, machst du
Just
die
be faking those sounds. And then, finally, you hear a snap and an
Boah.
uneasy silence. There is a slow
Zarina.
and fleshy tear.
Mhm.
Hard to fake that.
Machst
This is
die Augen
worse
zu.
than watching.
Wow.
And yet our eyes are still closed. Finally, there's the soft thud of something roughly head-sized bouncing against the floor, and the clattering of chains as they drop along with it. I think you can open your eyes now.
Ta-da.
Oh no, what did we do? Can we put it back? Please tell me we can put it back. The princess's eyes stare up at you. Dead.
Was?
Congratulations! You saved the world.
Okay, ja, ich keine Ahnung, was ich tun soll.
Was kommt als nächstes dort raus? Was ist das für ein Weg?
Also, ja, ich mach gleich weiter. Hm.
Gute Prinzessin. Oh. Herzlichen Glückwunsch, du hast die Welt gerettet.
So I guess that's it.
Ja.
What a way to go. But she is gone, isn't she? I hate this. Can we just get out of here now, please? Of course, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward. Now hold on, she's dead. So what's the rush? What's your angle? I don't have an angle. I'm just looking forward to putting all this behind us. I'm sure you can understand that. Look, I'm just not ready to put my guard down. It's best to keep sharp. She wouldn't have done all that without some kind of reason. She's left us with this dangling thread, and I need to know why.
Was für eine
You're
große...
just wasting your energy. The danger has passed,
Mhm.
and now we can all relax and
das
enjoy
geschafft
your
mit dem Messer?
reward.
So, jetzt haben wir ein Problem.
Hm?
Wenn wir den Kopf nicht mitnehmen, dann kriegen wir die Graue wieder.
Ja.
Also ich denke, wir
Stimmt.
streichen mal, gucken mal, ob die Graue nochmal kommt. Vielleicht haben die es ja geändert.
Das
Jetzt ist das
kommt
Spiel
am Kopf.
gesperrt auf jeden Fall. Dann gehst du direkt zu Ende. Was war das aber?
Fine. With the
Ahnung ist wieder erst.
time we still. You got why that's you rape yeah.
Nein! Yes!
You're on a
Oh yeah, das ist das.
trains everywhere. This is different. This is
Ah.
new.
Wir haben es jetzt.
It's worse, is what it is. We're finally starting to see reality.
Endlich haben wir es geschafft.
This place is a
No.
prison, and she's not the only inmate. You're acting like reality is this static thing. But this world is constantly changing around us. How can you be so sure that you
Alter, wir haben Boyd mit dem
are
Motor.
existence? That by feeling the walls
Boyd.
Der Milkman.
that's exactly
Paranoid.
what they do.
Lang, Liver, Nerv. Hart.
Special delivery today.
What a crock
Ugh.
of pretentious bullshit. Reality is as solid as the ground beneath our feet. And if we just examine it, if we apply enough scientific rigor, if we think...
Boah, Girl, freue ich mich auf den Trailer.
Way out of here for good. Don't you see?
Gespannt.
We're
Bin gespannt.
already making progress. And what if looking at it is enough to make it change? Where does that leave us? It leaves you exactly where you are right now, and presumably exactly where you've been before. I'll spare you my full introduction, since you've clearly already heard it at least once, but I would like to remind you...
Oh, die Klinge.
I hadn't actually noticed. Holding it's starting to feel natural.
Wir hatten noch nie die
isn't
Klinge
it?
von Anfang an.
Hm.
Of course it feels natural. We've had it with us every time. We've made it part of us. Don't be weird. It's just a tool, not some mystical object. Though starting with it feels like an indication that we're on the right track. This is strange. You're not supposed to start with the blade. It says right here that you're supposed to find it at the cabin. Oh well, I suppose that doesn't make much sense anyway. It's better if you start with a weapon, so this is probably for the best.
Oh. Oh Gott, wie viel speichern jetzt?
Ja, es gibt so viele Wege.
Dann speichere ich. Ich speichere nicht den grauen Weg.
Ja.
Das ist eh der Weg, den ich hier schon kenne. Wollen die Klinge wegwerfen und behalten?
Was oben das Erkunden noch?
Will ich jetzt überhaupt schlagen müssen?
She what? Why would she ever do that? She's not supposed to be suicidal. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. More importantly, if she did cut her own head off, why are you here? You shouldn't have died. You should be enjoying your reward. We killed ourselves, obviously. You were insisting that we were happy, but we knew we weren't.
Fucking Paranoiden.
Yeah, what he said. We weren't about to be stuck somewhere being fed non-stop bullshit forever. We want answers. We weren't gonna find them in your fake little paradise. There are no answers to find. If she was dead, then that was it. That was the solution. All you managed to do was reset the board. And you put the pieces back all wrong while you were at it. This is probably worse for you, if I had to guess. Ha! So there is a board. Well, what's done is done and you're here now. There's no use arguing. Just get to the cabin and settle this. Try not to kill yourself this time.
Also, Gus.
Mhm.
Schmeißt du die Waffe weg? Ich schmeiß die Waffe weg.
Serious?
Yeah.
The blade is your implement. You're going to need it if you want to do things right. We can't toss it. It's the only way we can protect ourselves.
No, lassen die mich nicht.
It's an extension of us, and we shouldn't go around throwing
Ah.
our pieces away. He's right. We
Ja, stimmt, das sind die beiden Protonoiden.
you.
Der Skeptiker ist gemein.
Are you even listening to me? Does my opinion count for anything? We're never getting out of here.
Guck, es leckt mich auf den Arsch und lässt sich nie Dinge tun.
We're not tossing the blade.
Ah, ja.
Oh.
Too bad. This is up to me. Hey, you can't just do that. We're not supposed to be able to make our own decisions.
Der Skeptiker ist anders.
Well, I did it last time. What if I stop you? Maybe I can make choices too. Good luck with that. I've got backup this time.
Was?
Yeah, a lion.
Nimm's weg mit it.
We're not throwing it away. It's important. Hey, what are you? Are you serious? That's no fair. Let me go. Sorry,
Cool.
has to be done. Great. Was that so hard? We need to keep
Was?
our wits.
Okay, das ist super.
Yes, you've made the right choice. The blade is the only control we have in this world. Yes, great. Now, will you get to the cabin already? In case you've forgotten, the princess, the fate of the entire world, etc.
Mhm.
You stand at the edge of a cliff.
Alter.
An abyss yawns beneath you.
So cool das aussieht.
Endless. The only path forward, a rusted metal bridge.
Also diese Route ist komplett neu.
Looms on its far
Okay, mega.
side.
Komplett neue
I think
Route.
you already know
Yeah,
what
cool.
waits for you within. It's like the world itself doesn't want us to reach her. There's nothing to find out here. Time to check in with the missus. I'm going to pretend you didn't just call her that.
Sehr gespannt.
Every surface of the cabin
Alter.
is draped in chains, the air filled with the mock birdsong of metallic clinks. Where there should be walls, you can see only endless ropes of metal, with hooks and spines dangling from their ends. A fitting cage for a monster, destined to end the world. There's nothing for you to do but step forward into the basement. You already have your weapon. Your objective awaits. And how are we supposed to get... What mirror? There is no mirror. The only thing of it clearly serves some purpose, but... Or is it a Can we please stop? You step out onto the floor. Or what should have been a floor. Should have been? Yes, unfortunately. You realise too late that there is no floor
Oh,
in
no.
metal. There is
Wow.
a loose web of chains suspended over some unseen space. An unseen space that you are now rapidly plummeting through. Nothing's solid here, is it? It's all just a shifting mass waiting for us to drop our guard. Your fall is suddenly, painfully halted as rusty chains pull taut against your skin, their hooks digging into your muscle. You find yourself suspended in what appears to be a
Uh-oh.
vast, dark
So cool.
space. The glinting of yet more chains merely hinting at its full dimensions. You dangle a few feet off the bare concrete floor. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favour. As your eyes adjust to your new surroundings, you make out a figure standing in the gloom, obscured in shadow. She watches you with the stillness. Easy now. We don't know what sort of situation we're dealing with. We should let her make the first move. Let observation give us an advantage.
Aua, die Arme.
Ja, was ist das? Speichern. Ja, speichern. Die
Ist
speichern.
das hier Unterschied? Ne?
But you are met with only silence, save for the creaks and groans of metal as it sways in the stale air around you. The hooks slowly
Ich muss
shift,
mal alleine hin und her bewegen.
the pain coming in waves as you continue to dangle helplessly. What if the chains don't have to be real? What if they aren't real? They feel plenty real to me. Yeah, it would be nice if we could just tell ourselves the chains aren't lodged in all our joints and they'd magically go away, but I'm afraid that's wishful thinking. Well, maybe wishful thinking is what we need. Maybe they're real, but maybe we can cut through them.
Schon ein bisschen
It's worth a
rostig.
try.
Oh. Stell dir vor, so rostige Nägel in Haken sind in deiner Haut.
Wie bitte?
Schon ein bisschen rostig und alles. Stell dir vor, so rostige
Ja.
Haken in deiner Haut drin.
Tut mir leid.
The princess takes a slow step forward. As she does so, the heavy chains shift, tightening and tearing at your flesh, your joints screaming in agony as the rusted hooks dig deeper. Stars dance in your eyes as the chain wrapped around your neck threatens to choke you. As your vision comes back into focus, your eyes fall on the body of the princess.
Den Kopf da in den Käfig.
Shadows.
Ja.
The body of the princess is a weird way to describe a person. it's only accurate. The form in front of you is a body, draped in raiments of chains, her head dragging along behind her in an iron cage. The head stares up at you but says nothing, and the chains squeeze ever tighter.
What makes you think I have a problem with you? Because I'm a head in a cage? Don't be silly. That's what I've always been.
Neo war hier mit den Ketten Kettengänger.
It's not like you're any different.
The body takes another step towards you, the chains around you tightening, the hooks boring deeper into your flesh. They constrict dangerously around your throat. You find it harder to breathe.
I don't think she's happy you're here. But what do I know? I'm just a set of eyes and ears. I don't make choices. At least not any that matter.
I don't want to die like this. I don't want to die like this. Somebody do something before she kills us. Please. We're stuck here. What are any of us supposed to do? Reason with her? I don't think she's acting rationally. I think she's lost it. This was all doomed from the start, wasn't it?
Hm. Hm.
And where has all that trying gotten us? I'm still here, and now I'm ahead, dragged along by a tired body. And you're just as stuck as I am. Everything we witness is just another shade of the same endless cycle. I wake up in chains.
The body steps forward. Your bindings tighten again.
Oh, schau mal, der
You
Arm.
come to me, knife in hand.
Hm.
The body steps forward. The pressure on your limbs is becoming unbearable.
You
Cool.
give me your implement.
The pressure is finally too much. Your fist unfolds as your joints swell with trapped blood, and your pristine blade tumbles helplessly to the ground.
I cut myself free.
She's not insane, is she? No, she's just right. It's all been the same. The whole time.
Wie sieht wohl dein Haus aus?
We never had a say.
Gute Frage. Hm. Was nehme ich?
Das untere nie.
Welches?
Das, wenn du nach vorne läufst, sterbe.
We're both going to die. And dying won't stop us from doing this again. And again. And again. It would be so much easier if you just gave in with me.
She steps forward yet again, and the chains dig into you, your nerves screaming, your heart pounding, your lungs desperate for air. I don't think we can hold on to you much longer. How many times will we have to do this? I'm tired.
This is all getting so predictable, isn't it? Pop.
Oh, oh.
Krass.
Haben wir keinen Kopf mehr.
Ja.
Guck mal, sieht jetzt so wild aus.
Ja.
Ja, die sauer auf unsere Versager sind quasi. Das ist die rote, du versuchst sie zu helfen, aber so ein Versager.
Ja.
Was?
And now, the cut. See? You only ever thought you were in control. Isn't it so much nicer to let go?
Ah, lol.
Hm.
I told you, it really isn't. And now nothing's stopping you from enjoying the show. Look at us go. Aren't we beautiful?
Bewegungen sind atemberaubend, urtümlich, ungehemmt. Stein auf Stein trifft im Fleisch, das anderes Fleisch pfeift.
It's all going to come to a head soon.
Das ist schön.
Head. I guess I'll see you next time.
Nee, das ist mal egal.
It's cold, but that's always been us, hasn't it? Cold isn't bad.
Anderes Outcome gibt hier. Muss ich gleich gucken.
Hm.
Okay. Gucken wir mal. Yep. Versuchen wir mal.
The princess takes a slow step
Hello?
forward as your vision comes back in the body. It's only at the head.
Das ist super cool.
You try to move your arm, but the hooks buried
Okay,
in your
geht
wrist
nicht.
and elbow keep you firmly, painfully in place. You do your best to rotate the knife in your palm, but it only clinks against the metal chain, unable to do so much as leave a scratch. The body takes another step towards you.
Ja.
The chain.
I don't think she's happy you're here. But what?
I don't want to die. This was all.
You're a step ahead of me. That means you finally get it. Everything we witness is just another shade of the same, and
The body steps forward.
you come to me.
The body steps forward.
You give me your. See?
You begin to black out.
I cut myself free. You're just starting to see the walls. And you don't have to struggle against something inevitable. You can give in with me. None of this is up to us.
She steps forward. How
Ja,
This
okay,
is
ist mal
all
live.
predictable. And now, we watch, just like we've been doing since the beginning. Look at us. It's all I guess.
Okay. Na, da wird immer das Gleiche passieren. Na, das war's schon. Okay.
War schön.
Kann dann kommen. Ja, was passiert da? Bleibt zwischen den Wänden eines Musters in ein Stahlkäfig gefangen.
Hm.
Ja. Ja, das stimmt, ist mal interessant.
Was?
Niemand hat was gesagt von den Stimmen.
Stimmt.
Sind alle weg. Oh, wie sieht's ja aus.
Something finds me
Boah, das
and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
krass.
I'm sorry. There's some change. I promise.
Mega schön.
Yes. Nerd. This one is a body that convinced herself she was only a set of eyes. She will make for a watchful heart. Do not
Boah.
warn her. She is now what she wished that she could be. Nothing. There is. She asks that I tell you. You won't.
Gewohnt. Oh,
Hm.
bring den Käfig zu ihr.
You're on a path. You're here.
Nice.
Archiv von Hunting Amelia.
Ja.
Okay. Also die Frage,
You make your warn.
wie krieg ich nochmal den Beast oder die Göttin? Ich hab actually keine Ahnung mehr.
Gute Frage. Die Göttin. Kenn ich beide nicht.
The interior of the
Ja.
cabin is almost entirely. The
Ich schau
air
kurz
is
nach.
stale and musty, and the floor and
Oh.
walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note
Aber nicht nur
is a
draufklicken,
plain
okay?
wooden table, perched on that.
Nee, ich schau meinen uralten Guide an, wie man die allen Dings bekomme.
Okay.
Wo ist die nochmal?
Oh, aber jetzt so gerne bei dir.
Okay.
The blade. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and say. The door. Her voice.
Who's
She said, "Don't let it." Great job. You gave away the element of
Okay.
surprise. She's focused on the task.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
You step forward.
Oh? No talk. I'm probably chained up in the. So, you.
She's unarmed.
Thank you. Maybe not.
A gate will be fine.
Okay.
I don't know what you're hoping.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a And yet you have. So, someone.
As a fair, don't give away the.
I'm right, aren't I? So who put you up to this?
Don't just tell.
That's cute. If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here? Chained ending the world.
I believe she doesn't have to know.
At the end of the day, whoever sent you to. That doesn't sound right.
She has a point.
So, but you don't really know.
She's right about one thing.
Like I said, so do you trust me?
She's wrong. She hesitates
You can.
again.
To.
You can't.
I'm guessing you. Well.
She isn't. She is.
Oh.
You know why you're here. Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk there large and heavy.
If you don't have.
Doubtful.
I'll be here.
You attempt someone. You're shout. You're here. You try. I'll repeat. You make your way easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. The knife.
You won't.
Oh.
Without hesitation,
Ah,
you bring
was?
the blade down. The princess flinch.
You bastard. If I have to kill you to leave this place,
Was
I'll
passiert?
do it.
Wie war das falsch gemacht? Mal
I
gucken.
thought we had the upper hand, but It's as if she's barely even
Was passiert,
threatened by
girl?
us.
Ah, okay, ist auch richtig. Sehr gut.
It's an act. She's unarmed and there's nothing she can do to hurt you.
Wie bitte? Was los?
Was passiert?
Wie was ist passiert?
Was gemacht?
Ich wollte sie ja töten.
I'm not so sure.
Ich wollte sie slayen.
Don't waver now.
Warum?
As you raise your blade to strike again, she
Sie
kicks
angelogen.
out, knocking your legs out from under you.
Ja.
Ist die
Ich
Tür?
habe mich umentschieden.
You struggle on the ground. You lash out with the blade, slicing wherever you can. Her fists connect with your body
Wie bitte?
again. Each blow
Hast du die
stronger
Tür
than the
gecheckt
last,
und dann bist du
shattering
zurückgegangen?
bone and rupturing
Hast du das
Ja,
Messer
nein.
nicht fallen gelassen?
Nee.
Doch.
Hast du jetzt dann wieder aufgehoben, aber. Ich hab ihn aufgehoben und konnte mit der Decke heben und wieder abstechen. Und dann hast du es gemacht.
Forget trying to rescue her. This is about survival
Stimmt,
now.
du und,
Give her everything you've got.
und Julie hatten beide als erstes die Kämpferin. Der Anniversary Theories hieß. Hä, wir schlagen die Prinzessin. Nein, das ist falsch.
Hochscroll?
Nein, das wollte ich nicht. Shit.
Ja.
Okay, ich hab eine Idee.
Ach, ja.
Ja, verschissen, sorry.
Yeah, this do not mourn her. She is now what she wished that she could be. Not there. Then you will.
You're
Wissen. Nochmal.
Hm.
Okay. Also, der Guide ist scheiße.
she will not ignore.
Ich habe eine andere Idee, was es gegen könnte.
Who's
She said, "Don't let it." Great job. You walk. She's focus on the task.
you weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me. I know. You brought a
She makes. Don't you dare. It's fine. You ignore the trembling in your hand.
You poor thing.
You step forward.
Oh? No talking then? I'm probably chained up in the... So, you...
She's unarmed.
Das darfst du
Go
nichts
into
machen.
this expecting to die.
hesitating?
You charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand, but you've already lost the battle. She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her. We shouldn't have hesitated. But she doesn't stop there. She kicks you a few times for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feeling like a pickaxe against your fracturing bones, making sure you stay down. As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the princess kneels on your throat with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess. As you gasp for air, she
Oh, das ist auch voll
with an
cool.
intense curiosity.
Mhm.
You shouldn't have let that fear
Wieso?
creep into your heart. You
I
had
mean,
the upper
but-
hand,
Das ist cool.
and now look
I
at
don't
you.
know.
Is this really the
Interesting.
best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
She applies more pressure, slowly squeezing what's left of your life out of your lungs. This
Das
is
ist
the end,
sadistisch.
isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Das ist ein gutes Geschäft.
You're on a path in the... You're here.
Kenn ich auch noch gar
Oh,
nicht.
don't you start grandstanding. If he doesn't remember what... You know I can... What does it matter what he knows?
Ja, okay, gut.
There's nothing
Wir
you
brauchen
can do
eine.
to stop her.
Ja.
She's just going to kill us
Ich
again.
mag ihn am wenigsten.
Der Masochist.
She is not going to kill
Yeah.
you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself.
Hopeless.
A warning. She will lie. We might as well just
Sieht normal
pledge
aus.
ourselves to her. and stop pretending
Mhm.
we're capable of
Sieht
doing
ganz normal
anything
aus.
in this situation. She
Mhm.
probably
Und
doesn't
von außen
even
halt.
try to overpower
Ja,
us.
das ist immer normal aus dem Chapter 2.
Can we tone down the pessimism
Interesting.
just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included. I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her. Either would be terrible. So please, try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on saving the world. Let's not make this harder than it has to be. If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here. The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest.
Krass.
The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small.
Okay, speichern. Wir brauchen dich brauchen wir nicht mehr. Nehmen wir die Klinge.
Mhm.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Geh mal rein.
The door to the basement
Oh.
creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease. Huh. This is kind of nice.
Kind of nice.
It's still a stone basement.
Hmm.
The princess lives here. Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is
Ja.
that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says.
Er ist wirklich ein
She's not
Masochist.
the one making the decisions. So
Das
if
war
his
wirklich.
goal is get you to the princess,
Das
Er
ist nicht
ist-
the
gelogen.
princess.
Nicht
Er ist
übertrieben, was wirklich
suspekt.
machst. Was wirklich
Er
machst
ist
du.
das Sauerschwein auf Twitter.
Submissive Bote.
Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers
Oh,
over you,
krass.
almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall. The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity. Drop it.
As if on command, the blade slips from your grasp. It clatters uselessly to the floor, but we didn't drop it. We decided to grip it tighter, remember? Are you really just going to let that happen to? I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is that you dropped the blade. Of course we dropped it. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence. Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel. Oh, are you still trying to defy me? I said kneel.
Your legs buckle and your knees hit the floor.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you couldn't even scratch me. And yet here you are again, trying to succeed
Hörst du
where
mich?
you've already catastrophically failed. What draws you back here beyond the empty halls of death?
Moment.
Speak.
The last time we met? I suppose that lends credence to our conversation in the woods. Still, whatever you do, don't tell her why you're here. It's best not to give her any ideas.
Reden nicht. Oder willst du mit ihr reden?
Sie gesagt.
Wir sollen speak.
Ja, wir speaken. Wir erzählen ihr alles.
You weak-willed buffoon.
Is that so?
The princess closes her eyes in contemplation.
Something about that thought wraps itself around my heart. It feels like a fundamental truth to my being that I'd somehow forgotten. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new. And the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny. And you, little bird, will help me seize it.
She's inevitable. There's nothing else for us to do but help her. Maybe she'll be nice to us.
Don't.
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird. There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet. This isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart.
Helfen wir oder gehören wir ihr?
Wir gehören ihr.
All you have to do is break these chains and set me free. Your will was so easily broken. Am I that magnificent? All you need to do now is break my chains.
If this is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say. No,
He's hot.
you can't just give in to her
Hmm?
when the stakes are
He's
so
hot.
high, not when you're so close. I won't let you do this.
There's still something in the way. A greasy film inside of you where it doesn't belong, trying to conceal you from me. Is that a person? No, it used to be a person.
Interesting.
Oh, der
It's
kennt das.
something different now. An echo.
Ja.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No,
Aw.
no. What are you talking about? I'm just...
I don't care what you
Neu
are.
ist auf jeden
You're
Fall.
mine.
Hast du ihre Erzähler umgebracht?
Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you are brought to your feet.
Oh, süß.
Break my chains.
And how are we supposed to do that? All we have is a blade.
Ah,
All you need to do is believe it's been done. Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist. She is loose, and the end is upon us.
What a good disciple you are. Come, it's time for us to leave.
sieht aus wie die amerikanische All Might.
Nothing. And then, everything.
She's gone. And is that... But it feels...
Was passiert jetzt?
Okay, immersed.
Wie ist so passieren?
Der Erzähler ist ja weg.
Nö, da kommt er wieder.
Flickering lights and empty. Whenever you. This one is dominance, a figure capable of bending everything to her will. She will make for an overwhelming heart. Do not mourn her, for she would not be able to mourn you. I will long for you. We will meet again.
Okay, Achievement. Wie kämpfen wir?
Kein
Und was
Achievement?
anders wird. Naja, kannst du kommen. Die ist ja nicht neu.
Ah,
Die wurde überarbeitet.
The door... It's still... You need to get...
Jetzt aber irgendwann.
The little you
As if on command. Oh, of course. Oh, I under...
kneel. Oh, kneel.
Your legs buckle.
That's my good. The last time we met, what draws you? Speak.
The last...
Do you think holding shut your beak is enough to stop me from prying it open? Do you think your skull can save your thoughts from being seen?
oh,
You're less broken than I thought. Perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters. Pick up that needle.
Do it. It's what she wants. No objections here. I don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what. As your eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits unperceived by your senses, but then manages to push you towards its desires like an unseen puppeteer. You reach forward and grasp the blade.
Stand.
This one's easy. See? Okay, yeah. We can do that. We were probably gonna stand anyway. You can feel a creaking tension between body and will as you slowly rise to your feet, like two foes forced into an unhappy truce. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come dragging out the long, painful seconds. But all silences are broken eventually.
To define me is to claim we stand on level ground. We do not. You are quiet shadow, while I am brilliant radiance. Take that knife in your hand and slit your throat.
What? You don't have to listen to her. You're armed. Just steel your nerves, step forward, and end this.
Oh nein.
Oh, we'll end this all right. Your hand lifts the blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay, I apologize for the unclear language. End her.
oh.
Your body is sluggish and unresponsive, actively fighting against you, but you do your best to stagger forward. One step at a time, you move towards the princess.
Das ist ähnlich wie bei Fallen Hero.
Ein bisschen.
Slitting your throat would have been a mercy, but it seems you're in need of a harsher lesson. Plunge that knife into your lungs.
I'm sorry. Don't. As you take another step forward, the blade digs into your ribs, slicing through flesh with ease. It somehow feels like an entirely natural thing to do, while the simple act of walking has become an arduous impossibility. Then it slides back out, the wound burning as a small hiss of air escapes through the fresh orifice. Blood fills your lungs.
Now, do it again. Keep doing it until I give you permission to stop.
Those are just words. You don't have to listen to her. It's what she wants. You, heroic one, what are you doing? Don't just let this happen. Stop him from killing you. I'm on it. Your other hand locks around your wrist, struggling to keep it from perforating. But the blade still flails towards you, managing to slice bits of skin that plop to the floor to join the growing pile of blood and gore beneath you.
Bugger.
What a pitiful display. A wounded little bird thinking it can defy a god. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to hurt so much. You can choose a gentle end. You can choose to leave that punctured vessel for the next. Or you can pathetically struggle against yourself until the floor of this temple is painted with the bloody impressions of your futility.
You continue to approach the princess, even as the repeated gouges of your blade expose bone and muscle to the open air of the basement. You know, this would be a lot easier if you gave us a hand. My influence only goes so far, and I can only juggle so many things at once. The best I can do right now is to continue to drive you forward. Believe me, this whole ordeal would be so much easier if I didn't have to contend with free will. You're the one making things difficult. You're the one making us hurt. She doesn't want to hurt us. She's just doing what she has to.
Stop.
As you finish crossing the room, you fall to your knees at the princess's feet, your chest heaving as your blood pools in the crevices of the stone floor, the coppery taste coating your throat. The princess kneels down, lifting your chin with her finger as her face lowers to yours.
Your devotion is misplaced. You've surrendered to delusion. But something about your defiant spirit speaks to me. You are different than you were before. Perhaps, if you've learned your lesson, I can spare you from the release of death. There's a place at my side for you, if you'll have it. Not as an equal.
Well, that's the meaning, isn't it? Yes, how thoughtful of her. It's a mercy. I think he's given up whatever say he had at the start of all this. At least one of you is sane. She's within striking distance, and she's only negotiating now because she knows you have what it takes to put an end to her. Seize the moment.
Ich weiß nicht. Ah, das Beast wurde komplett überarbeitet, glaube ich.
Naja. Programm
weitermachen?
Crash, aber können weitermachen. Sehr atmosphärisch. Leider ohne VTubers. Aber das ist okay.
Was?
Nee, alles gut.
Hört Musik.
No.
No.
Yes. Though your body trembles, struggling to defend yourself in the face of the princess's
Oh, ist das Neue.
you finally manage to break through, darting to her side before she can react. The wind of your freedom rushes through you, and you channel it into a decisive blow, stabbing into the soft flesh of her ankle and severing the tendons in an act of unyielding defiance. She falls to the floor, crashing unceremoniously to her knees. But you don't give her any time to recover. Your heart pounding with determination, you plunge your blade into her chest. As you find your target again and again, she laughs, crude emotion breaking through her once stony composure as your blade cuts her flesh. We can do this, can't we? You always could. The decision to give you this task was not made lightly. You're here for a reason.
It's not too late to pick up the pieces. It's not too late to toss that blade aside and beg for forgiveness.
Shut up.
Shut up!
I can't believe you would actually strike me. You heathen! You worm! You defiler! You don't know the consequences of your arrogance!
Before you can strike the final blow, the princess lashes out, knocking you off your feet. There's an unsettling wet pop as your spine breaks, numbness and pain spreading through your body. As you rebound towards the ceiling in a moment of disorientated lightness, she drives her fist into your chest. Your body is crushed as she pulverizes you into the floor, the ground itself breaking from the impact. You lie there, broken, beyond pain, unable to even see what she's done to you. But the princess is succumbing to her own wounds as well. She looks down upon her body in abject horror and disgust.
You made me use my hands. I can feel myself twisting into something new, something dull, something defiled. What have you done to me?
You're monsters and conspirators. I can't bear to watch this.
The princess has been nothing but cruel to you. You should feel liberated by her fall.
But I don't feel liberated.
Aside from the pain, I feel fine. She collapses to the floor. Her glassy eyes watch, unblinking, yet somehow still full of anguish and fear, as the two of you perish together. I suppose we were never gonna get a happy ending here, were we? Don't let those be your final thoughts. You saved the world. That's worth something, I guess. Regardless of how you feel about it,
That's
it's
one
finally
chapter.
over. Thank you. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Furry, okay.
Bin ich auch.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of the path, okay, what the hell is that?
Jetzt auch nicht.
Nee.
Eigentlich eine Erweiterung von der Theory.
I think he's upset.
Ist das mit den Dornen?
Nee, die Schlägerin, die Dämonen, die ich haut.
And what's he got to be upset about? We just killed a god.
Exactly. You heathens destroyed the most beautiful thing that ever was, and ever
Yes.
will be.
Can't say I have much sympathy for you. She was bad for us, and you almost got us killed. You're being too generous. He did get us killed. All right, enough chatter. Got a thing I'm supposed to do, and if you don't mind, I'd like to do it without any more interruptions. Okay, great, you're listening. Well, if your thing is telling us about the princess, hold your breath. We know all about her. It's hardly a problem in the woods at this point, is it? Look, if the world around you is changing, especially all the way out here, then that means you're nearing the point of no return. Whatever happens next, that's it. There won't be any more do-overs. So you'd better...
So what if I'm speaking my
It's
mind?
super
It's not
cool.
like I've ever really got to say anything.
What a crock of shit.
Wie bitte?
Die Musik ist super cool.
Mhm, relativ laut, aber
Last time. Repeatedly.
die Stimmen gehen ein bisschen unter.
It doesn't
Ja,
count.
stimmt.
Ich glaube sogar mit Absicht sogar.
If you didn't submit to her, for all we know, that wouldn't have happened.
It's the punishment you all deserve for not listening to me. So,
Aside from our sulking friend, I don't think we have much to worry about. You're still the one in charge here, and I don't think that's ever going to change. Second he tries something, I'll put a stop to it. Good, we're all on the same page. It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path,
Wirbelsäule.
staring up at the cat. That's it.
Wie bitte?
Final
Eine
words of
Wirbelsäule.
advice?
Oh Gott.
I'd rather not waste waste any more time. I'm sure that any advice I'd give at this point is something you've already heard.
If there's still a princess at the cabin, maybe we can salvage things. Maybe if we just grovel and apologize, things can go back to how they were before.
Oh, cut it out, will you? We need to be tough right now, and you're making it so much harder than it has to be, so stop whining. The interior of the cabin is a place that feels long forgotten. There was once an elegance to its construction, carved marble columns holding a high arched roof, vaulted windows letting in the weak starlight. But that is how it was. Now there is a growth that has overtaken it. A viscous fluid seeps from cracks in the stone walls, and it congeals into chaotic streaks
Literally.
of writhing nerves and wet clumps of living meat. That's horrible. You did this. The only furniture of note is a pulsating pedestal, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement.
Ein Moment.
Ja.
Achievements noch nachgucken.
Mhm. Oh,
Gnade von einem göttlichen Wesen.
was wird
Mit deinem Willen am Rande eines Stahlkäfigs durch. Sie sind es nicht verletzt. Es gibt doch mehr Dinger beim Käfig.
was?
Das können wir gut so sehen. Aber das da ist sehr weird.
As you attempt to move, the princess takes a slow step forward. As your vision comes to the body of the prince, the head.
Versuche den Fly zu steuern.
Hab schon
Ah.
versucht.
You try to move your arm, but do little more than rotate the hook planted firmly in your wrist. The body takes another step toward.
I don't think she's happy you're here.
I don't want to. This was all doomed from the.
Das machen wir. Hä?
That's what I used to think. But time alone has there's so much pain that
Und
comes
jetzt zwei
from treating yourself
Gegenteile,
into
sie
thinking you
und
have
die
a
Göttin.
choice. But none of us
Wie
have
bitte?
choices.
Sind jetzt zwei Gegenteile, sie
Knowing
und die
that has
Göttin.
made me feel so
Jeder?
free.
Ja.
Kaum Gegenteile.
Von der Einstellung her.
Also die fühlt sich halt ohnmächtig, der Kopf.
Mhm.
Wie genau sie macht, am Ende wird sie ja das gleich.
Everything we witness is just another shade of the same endless cycle.
The body steps forward. Your body.
You come to me, knife in.
The body steps forward.
You give me your.
The pressure is fine.
I cut myself free. So you understand exactly how unfair this all is. Give in with me.
She steps.
This is all getting so predictable.
Verschissen vielleicht?
And now.
Warte mal. Es gibt noch mehr Achievements nämlich.
Mhm.
Lies dir die mal vor.
Ja.
Das war einmal warte, freier Wille. Setze deinen Willen am Rande eines Stahlkäfigs durch, selbst wenn es dich verletzt. Das Gleichnis des Käfigs. Du hast die Wände deines Käfigs selbst erschaffen. Das Rätsel des Stahls. Verändere in einen Stahlkäfig ein Muster.
Ah.
Mhm.
Was ist das mit dem Muster?
Frag mich halt, ich kann ja nichts machen. Hätte ich bestimmt Kapitel davor was anders machen sollen?
Hm.
Also hier kommt immer alles das Gleiche.
Ja.
Look at it. It's all. I guess it's.
Naja, gehen wir einfach wieder zurück. Na, Chief's Hunting mache ich eh später. Jetzt machen wir erstmal einfach alles einmal. Wo waren wir hier?
You take the blade from the pedestal. Good. Nothing feels...
Alter, stark.
You step forward and always stick. What?
Ja, ich spiele das Gebäude nicht. Immer das gleiche. Das wird auf der Rest.
Reach forward and drag your hand as if on command. Why am I not? You step forward into the dark. The stairs leading down to the basement are at once both narrow and grandiose. The high vaulted ceiling stretches up into a gloom beyond your sight, while walls wet with tumorous growths press in uncomfortably at your sides. You feel both unprotected and trapped, at once exposed and claustrophobic. The air is thick, its odor an oppressive violence, the metallic scent of fresh blood twisting with the nauseating embers of charred remains. If the princess lives, her voice, a bellowing rage, roars up the stairs.
Was severing the tendons of my ascension not enough for you? Was it not enough to rend my divine heart? Come, see the horrors you've wrought upon my flesh, and feel my hands set upon your throat. See how you've soured my once divine melody.
She's so angry with us. Why? Why did you desecrate her? Why couldn't I stop you?
You've got to stop thinking about her like that. It isn't doing anyone any good. She's not some untouchable god. She's an abomination, and we're going to put an end to her once and for all.
Whatever she is now is our fault. If she's an abomination, then what does that make us?
It doesn't matter what we are. She needs slaying, and we've got the means to do it, so let's get a move on. If I might interject, you didn't make her into an abomination. She's always been what she is. It's why you're here, and it's why your task is so important. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. The chamber's walls are painted in blood, a deep, sickening red that drips down in clotted streams onto the charred corpses that make up its floor. This place reeks of torment, of ripped skin and burning bone. The princess stands in its center, muscles flayed and bare and weeping, draped in a tattered dress of her own skin. Her heart beats from its place in her open chest.
Do you know what I'm going to do to you?
There's not so much a moment of hesitation before she steps forward. Her chains pull taut, holding fast as she strains against them. The cuff around her wrist digs deeper into her skin. Blood drips from the place where metal meets flesh. Then, with a nauseating sound, the skin tears. It plops to the ground, and she pulls her red, glistening arm free from her bindings. She is loose, and she is coming for you.
Let her end. It's the punishment you all deserve for what you did to her. It's the punishment I deserve for letting it happen.
Screw that. We can win. We've done it before, and we'll do it again, only this time we'll make it out. Hell, she's practically done most of the work for us.
Dich vernichten.
You'll try. And that's what I've been so excited for. Let's hurt each other.
Your heart free of fear. You charge towards the princess, your eyes locked on each other, both of you prepared to lay down your very essence in one. It's now or never. Let's make it a beautiful blaze of glory. With a horrifying squelch, you are unwound.
Ging schnell.
No, that's our stuff. She can't just do that. She just did. Unfortunate, I know. Reality is reality.
Geht er mal auf Christen scheinbar einfach.
You should always
Man geht.
be grateful she's decided to keep us alive. Even in her defilement, she is merciful.
We're not out for the count just yet. But the words don't leave your metaphorical mouth. Instead, all that leaves you is a wet and horrible gurgling as tissue vibrates out of place. Our metaphorical mouth.
You don't have the means to speak anymore, do you? How tragic. It is tragic, though, isn't it? I'm not satisfied dividing fear and indignation from your eyes alone. A quivering mound of flesh is no companion.
She snaps her fingers, and the basic form of a vocal system assembles before you.
Now, little bird, what was it you wanted to tell me?
Yeah, that's right. Tell her how dead we're going to make her.
I've made the mistake of underestimating your resolve before. Never again.
Before you can act, what's left of you explodes. So that's it. It's over, just like that.
Of course it's over. It's been over since the very first moment we...
This is the final note of your discordant melody. You will not return again, because you will live in that single tone forever.
No! No! It's not over! We're a god killer! We've returned from death itself twice!
Didn't you hear her? We're not dead.
What's the difference? From many perspectives, there isn't one. But functionally, that is, from your perspective, the difference is massive. You are entirely laid bare, spread to each corner of the room. Yet you are wholly aware of the state you're in. Incapable of movement, but entirely capable of perception. In fact, perceiving your state is the only thing you can currently do. You are preserved perfectly in the amber of... We're more than this. We've lost bodies before. We just have to lose this one and make another. Absolutely not. I refuse to let you just decide to die with your task unfinished. If you die here, the world is doomed.
Nach hier.
Robert, where the hell are you? Are you already at the princess? This place is different. Rotten. Death all around us. I want to go back.
Ja,
So you've returned already, and I remain here. Is this our final destination?
The princess tilts her head to look at you, and with a gesture, you are unwound. Again? Already?
Clearly I left you with too much room last time. Perhaps this cell will hold you better.
You know what to do. Again.
Mal.
Your Honor, she's gorgeous.
Absolutely divine.
You, guy who describes things, you better start saying what we do this time.
And what are you?
Attacking her, obviously. Right. You charge towards the princess and...
There is no spark in you, only matter devoid of life.
you explode. Again.
Nochmal.
You're on a path. We are not on a fucking path. I have no idea where we are. We're in the middle of a fight, so act like it. So you are. Okay, you dive towards the princess and we're unwound. Yes, her head swivels creakily on her neck, fire in her eyes as your body unravels with blinding pain.
No.
Again.
Again.
Your Honor,
No time. You narrate.
yes, of course. Pristine blade grasped firmly in your hands, you fly towards the princess before she can turn to face you. You might actually do it this time.
I can feel that body of yours slicing through the air. How many more times will I have to scatter you?
As she turns towards you, the very essence of your being begins to flake away. Your muscles, then organs, then nerves lay bare and screaming as the rest of you is stripped of substance. Oh, boo-hoo. It's just a body.
It just needs to last long enough to sink this blade into her heart.
But it doesn't last. You are disintegrated. Everything goes dark.
How many times do I need to pulverize you before you finally understand? You are nothing. An empty void that dared to dream it was alive.
That feels right.
If we're nothing, then why are we still here?
Because we always have been. If we're nothing, then how can we do anything? The same way we always have. Being nothing has never stopped us. Now end this. End her.
Oh ja.
You cannot win if you cannot be.
Ja, kann ich.
How? I scattered the atoms you clung to and there was nothing there to find. You can't exist.
Braucht eine Existenz. Boah. Amelia?
Mhm.
It's over.
Oh.
Oh, I think I understand you now. I'm sorry.
Ich bin super
I didn't
müde.
mean to do the things I did to you. I don't think I knew what I was doing.
Was für Treue. Interessant.
Mhm.
She sounds genuine. They
Ja.
always do in the end.
Ja. Ja, machen nicht Sinn.
It's cold.
Können wir nach ihr im Bett weitermachen?
I'm going to be okay, right?
Wie bitte?
Können wir nach ihr im Bett weitermachen?
Nach ihrem Bett?
Ja, jetzt im Bett weitermachen.
Wenn du wahrscheinlich einschlafen. Oh, Achievement!
Let's go.
Wie
Ich
heißt
werde
das?
eingeschlafen, aber es ist super angenehm.
Du bist schon eingeschlafen.
Nee, bitte nicht.
Okay. Quantensprung. Finde eine Möglichkeit, über einen verschmähten Engel zu triumphieren. Hehe.
Uhu.
Easy.
She's gone.
Stark.
And there's...
Okay.
But it feels so bad.
Screw the mirror.